Okay, this is the review for test 2 for pre-calculus. And let's look at the first 6 questions here. We can see that the first 6 questions are fairly simple. These are all special value angles. They are the ones that you have seen from the unit circle. So if you remember your unit circle, we say that x is equal to cosine theta, and y it's equal to sine theta. And if you have tangent, that it's equal to y over x. Okay, and then you also have, of course, you have secant, cosecant, and cotangent. Those are just the reciprocals of those 3 trig functions. So let's go over this one by one. Cosine 45 degrees, so you think about 45 degrees and the coordinate at 45 degrees on the circle, and the x value of it is root 2 over 2. Okay, so it's really about how familiar you are, how fluent you are in verbalizing the values, the coordinates of the unit circle. If you have it, you got it. If you don't have it, then it's going to be a problem for these questions. All right, next up, 225. Okay, 225 is in quadrant 3, and that would be negative root 2 over 2. That's the y value at the y value at the 225 degrees. And then we have tangent 90 degrees, which is equal to 1 over 0, and that gives us undefined. That gives us undefined. Okay. All right. So, and then for the next one, we have cosecant of 11 pi over 6. Now, the way I look at this is that I would think about the sine of 11 pi over 6. So think about the y value of 11 pi over 6. Okay. That will be negative 1/2, and then I do the reciprocal of that, then it would give us negative 2. Okay, so again, I first think about sine of 11 pi over 6, and then I just do the reciprocal. Okay, if it's 1/2, I would just flip it. Okay, I would not want to think about 1 divided by 1/2. I mean, you could. If you think about 1 divided by 1/2, so first you have to ask yourself, how familiar are you with the manipulation and operation of complex fraction? Now, if you want to do this, then I would just suggest you to do this properly. That would be 1 over 1/2, meaning 1 divided by 1/2, or negative 1/2, sorry. And then you learned this in middle school. You would change the division into multiplication, and then you have negative 2. So that's how you get negative 2 at the end. Okay, so whenever you see complex fractions, and we will see somewhat in the future, you can always think about using the division sign, the good old division sign back in the middle school time. Okay, cosine of 3 pi over 4. Cosine of 3 pi over 4, it's negative root 2 over 2. Okay, so root 2 over 2. And secant of pi over 4. So I'm thinking about cosine of pi over 4, which is root 2 over 2. And then I would do the reciprocal, which is 2 over root 2, and I have to rationalize it, so I have 2 root 2 over 2. The 2 got canceled out, so the final answer is just root 2. Okay, so that's how I would handle these 6 problems. Now, just keep that in mind. There are plenty of special angles that we will do. We can ask you for. And as a result, you should be really familiar with the unit circle values, okay, so that you will have an easier time to answer these questions. And I would say this, if you want to do well on this test, especially for these this kind of problems, you really should spend no more than 5 seconds for each of these questions. If you have to spend more than 5 seconds for each of these questions, then that indicates something that you have some work to do. Okay, so just to give you a standard so that you can follow. Okay.